Hey y'all, what's up? My name is Jackson and welcome back to my channel. If you do not know me or have not seen any of my previous videos, I am transgender, so what that means is I was assumed female at birth and I transitioned to male later on in life. A little over 2 years ago now, I started taking testosterone and it has caused some pretty drastic changes for me, to say the least, and everything I've been super excited about. Speaking of testosterone, today is actually shot day for me, and that is actually what I'm going to show you all here today, is how I take my testosterone shot. Alright, so this is my bag. I keep all of my vials and needles in here. Today I only have one vial and needle in here. So this is where I keep all of my stuff. I am missing a needle. Here we go. Alright, so this is my little shot bag, and here is testosterone. So it comes in a little box like this. I get a ton of 1 milliliter vials, and I take 0.5 milliliters every week, so half a milliliter. Here it is. Here's what it looks like. Oh, I've always wanted to do this. So this is testosterone. This is what it looks like. Alright. So this is the vial. I don't know if you can see it. It's like a little oil. It's pretty thick. That's why I have to use 2 separate needles to draw and inject. So here's the syringe, and here's the needle that I will use to draw up the testosterone. It's a little bit wider, so that way it's easier to go into the syringe, because that's a pretty thick liquid. And what I also have here is some alcohol prep pads. Just gonna go ahead and take one and open this up. What I normally do is I sanitize or disinfect, whatever you want to call it, the vial. So I'll just go over the little rubber tip there. That's where the needle's gonna go in. And while this dries, I use the rest of the prep pad to sanitize or disinfect my leg. So gotta roll up my shorts now. This is really weird, but you gotta show a little leg if you want to take this testosterone. And then I usually, like with the back of it, whatever side I didn't want my leg on, I just kind of do my fingertips, because I will be touching my leg in a minute. Alright, while everything dries off, I will start switching my syringe needles out. So this is a 3 milliliter syringe. Normally you could use a 1 milliliter also, but the needle and the gauge that I use is 25 gauge to inject. It's way thinner than what this is, and it's about 1 inch long. I used to use 1.5 inches, but that got pretty painful pretty quickly when my fat started redistributing from my legs and thighs to my stomach. So I switched to the 1 inch and pretty painless. Alright, so here's the 18 gauge. It's really thick. It would probably hurt really badly if I stabbed myself with this. So before I actually inject the needle to draw up my medicine, I will get some air in there and then go ahead and put this in. Flip it upside down. Inject the air to the vial, and now it's ready to start coming out. So there we go. Kind of goes by itself. Just help this out real quick and make it go a little quicker. There we go, I finally got it all in there. Now I'm gonna go ahead and recap this needle, since I'm not gonna be using it anymore. Side note, as a chemist, this is really weird to me, because we are taught in labs not to recap needles. Yeah. Okay, so I'm putting my 25 gauge back on. So I don't know if you were able to see the thickness of the other one, but this one is really, really thin. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna push up until 1 drop comes out of the top. Alright, 1 drop came out of the top. Now I'm just going to go ahead and flick that drop off. And my needle's ready to go. All that does is it gets rid of the air inside the syringe. And an air bubble will come up, that's fine. I just flick it till it goes to the top. Okay. So now it's time for the injection part. What I'll do now is I'll just relax my leg. A good way to tell if your leg is relaxed is that like when you hit it, it kind of looks like jello or just jiggles really nicely, I guess you could say. So yeah, it's pretty relaxed as I can be. I personally do not like giving myself a shot. This whole process used to take me about 2 hours because I would just sit here with my like needle like 1 centimeter away from my leg, and I just could not bring myself to do it. So recently it's taken me about like 10 minutes total process. Just depends on how my anxiety is. Today it's pretty low. I feel pretty confident in doing this. I don't know if confidence is the right word. I feel very comfortable doing this. So yeah, here we go. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pinch my leg. So honestly, I don't know why they do it. That's the way they told me to do it. Yeah, so I'm pinching my leg. And another thing I learned, this nurse told me that if you point the little part where the little hole is towards you, it hurts less. I don't know why that is, but it actually like works. I believe that nurse, so thank you, nurse. I don't remember your name, but thank you so much for that tip. It actually does hurt way less. Alright, so I'm gonna point that little dip towards me and then just pick a spot and go for it. Before I pick a spot, I have to do the second 2/3 of the leg you're allowed to inject into, but not the first third. So I usually use just one hand as a reference, and then it should be good enough. So now pick a spot and inject. But that actually didn't hurt at all, so now I'm just gonna push it in. Oh, I got a little anxious there. Alright, next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna draw up a little bit, just to make sure I haven't hit any blood vessels. If I get an air bubble that comes up, that's okay, as long as there's no blood in there. There's no blood in my syringe, so I can go ahead and inject. Now, I used to have a really hard time with not injecting, but like getting the needle to go in at the beginning. And something that my doctor told me actually really helped me. She said it's not normal for you to want to stab yourself. And that actually, for some reason, just made me feel really comfortable and like stopped making me feel weird about giving myself injections. I don't know. It just, for some reason, that phrase really helped me. Alright, so I'm just gonna like leave it pressed for an extra 10 seconds so that way all of that medicine drips in there, and I'm just gonna go ahead and pull it out. Alright, then I'll grab my alcohol swab and just cover the little injection and rub it in like this for about 5-10 seconds. And that's it, that's my testosterone shot. Here we go. All of it's gone into my leg. So yeah, I will go ahead and recap this in a little bit. Alright. Not too bad, just a little blood, totally fine. When I first started doing this, I don't think when I first switched to that needle, I would get a little scared, and I don't think I would go down enough, and sometimes if you don't go down enough, the medicine will come out when you pull out this needle. It'll just kind of start shooting out, so that was a little scary. But yeah, that's my shot. Nothing else is coming out, it's pretty dry. Yeah, I do this every week. I've done this about 100 and something times now. So that was my testosterone shot. I really hope you guys enjoyed or learned something. I'm sorry if you're a little squeamish. I used to be pretty squeamish about stabbing myself, but I've done this over 100 times now. So I think it's okay. But yeah, feel free to leave a comment if you have questions. I'm happy to answer them. As always, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it, and I hope to see you all soon.